Everyday English listening. Let's listen to English every day because it helps us improve our listening skills, understand pronunciation better, learn new vocabulary, and become more confident in real conversations. Keep practicing. Is it easy or tough to learn English? Reflection. Learning English can be both easy and tough, depending on how we approach it, our background, motivation, and environment. For many people around the world, English is a useful tool that opens doors to education, job opportunities, travel, and communication with others. But just like any other language, learning English has its own set of challenges and rewards. Some people say it's easy because English is everywhere. Others say it's tough because of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary rules that don't always follow logic. So, let's take a closer look at both the easy and tough sides of learning English. Why learning English feels easy for some people. 1. English is everywhere. One reason English can feel easy to learn is that it is all around us. It is used in movies, music, the internet, signs, business, and even games. From watching cartoons as children to scrolling through social media, people are constantly exposed to English in daily life. This regular exposure helps learners become familiar with the sound and structure of the language, sometimes even without formal study. 2. Access to resources. Another reason why English may be easy for some is the wide variety of learning resources. There are millions of free and paid apps, websites, books, podcasts, and online courses dedicated to helping people learn English. If someone wants to learn English today, they can start with a smartphone or a laptop. This kind of access makes learning more convenient than ever before. 3. Simple sentence structure at the beginning. For beginners, English sentence structure can seem simpler than other languages. For example, the basic subject-verb-object order, I eat rice, or she reads books, is clear and easy to understand. English does not use many verb conjugations like some other languages, for example, Spanish or French, which can make starting out feel less complicated. 4. International motivation. Because English is considered an international language, people often feel highly motivated to learn it. If someone wants to travel, study abroad, get a better job, or communicate globally, learning English becomes a meaningful goal. This motivation helps people stay focused and practice more, which makes learning feel easier. Why learning English feels tough for others. 1. Unpredictable pronunciation. One of the hardest parts of English is its pronunciation. Unlike some languages where words are pronounced exactly how they are written, English has many exceptions. For example, the words through, though, and tough all end in oof, but sound completely different. This can confuse learners and make it difficult to know how to say new words correctly. 2. Irregular verbs and grammar rules. English has many irregular verbs that do not follow standard patterns. For example, instead of saying goed, we say went. Instead of eated, it's ate. These irregularities require memorization. English also has tricky grammar rules, like the difference between a and an, or when to use much versus many. And then there's phrasal verbs like pick up, give in, turn off, and many more, which can be confusing because their meanings change depending on the context. 3. Vocabulary can be overwhelming. English has a large and constantly growing vocabulary. There are multiple words for the same idea, and some words have several meanings. For example, the word run can mean many different things. You can run a race, run a business, run late, or run out of milk. This flexibility makes English rich and expressive, but also confusing for learners. 4. Fear of making mistakes. For many learners, speaking English is the most difficult skill because they are afraid of making mistakes. Fear of being laughed at or misunderstood can stop people from practicing, especially in front of native speakers. This lack of practice slows down improvement and makes learning feel harder than it really is. How to make learning English easier. Even if English feels tough, there are many ways to make it easier and more enjoyable. 1. Start with daily practice. Just like learning to play an instrument or a sport, regular practice is the key. Spending just 20 to 30 minutes a day reading, listening, writing, or speaking English can make a big difference over time. 2. Use English in real-life situations. Learning becomes easier and faster when you use English in real life. Try to talk to friends in English, watch your favorite shows with English subtitles, write short diary entries in English, or ask and answer questions using new vocabulary. Using the language helps your brain remember and apply what you've learned. 3. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time, not even native speakers. Instead of being afraid of making mistakes, think of them as chances to learn something new. The more you speak and practice, the more confident you become. 4. Choose topics you enjoy. If you love music, try learning the lyrics to English songs. If you enjoy cooking, watch English cooking videos. If you like sports, follow English commentary. When you study things you enjoy, English becomes more fun and less like hard work. 5. Learn in small steps. Don't try to learn everything at once. Focus on small, manageable goals. Learn 5 new words a day, or master 1 grammar rule a week. Over time, these small steps add up to big progress. Real-life experiences of English learners. Everyone's journey in learning English is different. For some people, it starts in childhood. They watch English cartoons, sing songs, and repeat phrases they hear. Over time, they absorb the language without even realizing they're learning. But for others, especially those who start learning English as teenagers or adults, the experience can be more challenging. Let's consider Mai, a young woman from Vietnam who began learning English in school. She found the grammar lessons boring and difficult, and she rarely used English outside the classroom. But when she got a job in tourism, she was forced to communicate with foreigners. At first, she felt nervous and shy. She often made mistakes and sometimes people didn't understand her. But she didn't give up. She listened carefully, copied what others said, and kept a small notebook with useful phrases. Over time, her English improved, and she began to enjoy the process. Stories like Mai's show that English can feel tough at the beginning, but with real-world use and persistence, it becomes easier and more enjoyable. Why motivation matters. Whether English feels easy or tough often depends on why someone is learning it. A person who is excited about studying abroad, traveling, or landing a better job may work harder to overcome the tough parts. On the other hand, someone who is forced to learn English in school without understanding its purpose may find it boring and frustrating. Motivation acts like fuel. The stronger your motivation, the easier it is to keep going, even when English feels difficult. This is why teachers and learners should always connect English with real-life goals. If you know why you are learning English, you're more likely to stay focused and make progress. The importance of mindset. A positive mindset can make learning English much easier. Some people believe they are bad at languages, and this belief becomes a wall that stops them. Others say, "I will improve little by little," and they make steady progress. The way you talk to yourself matters. For example, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at English," try, "I'm learning and improving every day." "I always forget vocabulary." Try, "I'll review these words again tonight." Even simple words of encouragement like, "I can do this," or "It's okay to make mistakes," can make a big difference. Learning any new skill takes time and effort. If you stay patient with yourself and celebrate small victories, English will not feel so tough. The 4 key skills. English has 4 major skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each learner finds different skills easier or harder. Listening. Listening is often the first skill we develop. Some people say listening is easy because you just need to pay attention, but it can also be tough when native speakers talk fast or use slang. One good way to improve listening is to watch English videos with subtitles, then try watching again without them. Speaking. Many learners say speaking is the hardest. It requires thinking fast and being brave. People fear making mistakes or saying the wrong word, but speaking improves with practice. Talk to friends, join English clubs, or use apps to speak with learners worldwide. The more you speak, the easier it gets. Reading. Reading can feel easy at first because you can go slowly. You can look up new words and take your time. But advanced reading, like academic texts or news articles, can be challenging. Start with simple books or short stories and work your way up. Writing. Writing is often the final skill that people master. It requires correct grammar, good spelling, and clear thinking. But writing helps you organize your thoughts and learn vocabulary. Start with short messages, emails, or journal entries. Then try longer essays or stories. Each of these skills can feel easy or tough, depending on your experience and interest. The key is to practice all 4, not just one. Cultural differences. Make learning interesting. Learning English isn't just about language. It's also about learning how people in English-speaking countries think and communicate. This can be both interesting and confusing. For example, in some cultures, being direct is considered rude, but in English, being clear and direct is often appreciated. In English, people say please and thank you often, even when making small requests. These small cultural details are part of learning English too. At first, cultural differences can make English seem harder, but over time, they also make learning more fun. You're not just learning how to say words, you're learning how people live, think, and express themselves. Emotional challenges in learning English. For many learners, one of the most difficult parts of learning English is not the grammar or vocabulary. It's the emotions involved. Fear, embarrassment, frustration, and doubt can become big obstacles. These feelings can make even simple tasks, like answering a question in English, feel scary. Imagine being in a classroom or a meeting where everyone else speaks fluently. You might understand what they're saying, but when it's your turn to speak, your mind goes blank. You start worrying, what if I say something wrong? Or, what if they laugh at my accent? This fear of judgment is real. It can stop many people from trying at all. But the only way to get better is to push through these feelings. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to make mistakes. Even native speakers make grammar errors and forget words sometimes. Learning English means learning how to be brave, open, and willing to grow. A helpful trick is to change your inner dialogue. Instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, try saying, I'm learning something new today. That small change in mindset can make a big difference in your confidence. Conclusion. So, is English easy or tough to learn? The answer is, it depends. For some people, it feels easy because they are motivated, exposed to English often, and have access to helpful resources. For others, it feels tough because of pronunciation, grammar, and the fear of making mistakes. But the good news is that anyone can learn English with the right attitude and consistent effort. Every language has its challenges, and English is no exception. But if you stay patient, practice regularly, and keep your goals in mind, you will find that English becomes easier day by day. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an advanced learner. What matters is your willingness to keep going. In the end, learning English is not just about memorizing words or passing tests. It's about opening your heart to a new way of understanding the world, meeting new people, and growing as a person. Whether it feels easy or tough, learning English is always worth it.